da, 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 da. This will be fine. We'll draw a red source. Ooh, opponent on a black-white deck. That's probably a good sign for me. Life of Toshiro Umezawa. Wait. Is that card playable? I thought this was, like, not good enough for limited. I guess life gain synergies? Something? Oh no! We didn't draw a land, but we drew Expressive Iteration, which is kind of like drawing a land. Guess we'll take Galvanic. I've already got 2 Abrades. It's probably plenty. Still don't have a second red source for this Unexpected Windfall, though. That's awkward. Aaron Gert thinks it's quite good and limited. Huh. Maybe I underrated it? I felt like it was hard, but I guess it's good for a 2-drop, even if it's delayed. There's a lot of enchantment synergies going on in limited that I don't really know how to appreciate properly, if I'm being entirely fair. Should I braid this? Wandering Emperor? Do I care? I mean, I guess it makes Samurai. But I can't help but feel like I kind of just don't care. Oh, I should have played Hinata. Shouldn't I? Maybe not. If I had one more red source and any untapped land was going to give me Galvanic Iteration into Windfall, I'd probably wait here. But as it stands, I think I'm just discarding Valorous Stance, and then I'm going to Abrade the Toshiro. Don't want my opponent having more mana. I don't know what they're doing, but I don't want them having more mana.
I'm not overconfident. We'll just keep watch for intruders.
There's a ton of archetypes that just have a ton of 1-up toughness creatures. Okay, that's fair. That's something that varies a lot depending on format. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a format where that was the case at all or not. Okay, Legion Angel, kind of annoying. Yup. Land drop. Okay. Play Hinata. Do I let them have Memory of Toshiro? I don't think that's going to be a huge difference. I kind of get the feeling they're going to uptick Wanderer on the 3-3 to make it attack through Hinata. And then I can Abrade the 3-3 in response. Do I want to do that? Probably. This indicates to me that they don't have a direct answer for Hinata. Or else they'd probably be making a 2-2 instead. Okay, Legion Angel is fine. There's a pretty good chance that I just take 4 from the Legion Angel here, and then swing with Hall of the Storm Giants at Wandering Emperor. Try to set up for a turn where I Galvanic... Oh, never mind. New plan! Where I was going to try to set up for a turn where I Galvanic Alchemist's Gambit, but... New plan is that we are going to Galvanic Windfall. Because that sounds more fun. I guess I should do that now. I have no reason not to do that now. Hinata's not super useful. Magma Opus, however, is probably pretty useful. Yeah. So let's see. I think we're just going to cast 2 Magma Opuses on my opponent's upkeep because that sounds like a fun time. Boop. Yeah, okay. That's fair. Again, you should probably let me cast the Opus first, but... This deck seems more fair than before the Epiphany ban. It's... a little? I actually don't think it's much worse than before the Epiphany ban, to be entirely honest. It's just unfair at different times in different amounts. I maintain that Epiphany was never actually the good part of the Epiphany shell. The best part of Izzet is Unexpected Windfall plus Galvanic Iteration. Everything else about that deck was just ways to make it acceptable to play Unexpected Windfall and Galvanic Iteration in your deck, because they are cards that are not good enough on their own and require synergy to be good enough. Everything else was a combination of good removal that let you get to the late game, and stuff you could do once you got in the late game to win, but like, it didn't really matter what you were doing. Iteration plus Windfall is the busted part. Divide by Zero is a big deal, but even as good as it was, like, this shell is still excellent without Divide by Zero. It's excellent without Expressive Iteration. It's probably not excellent without Magma Opus or Hinata, although it's still really close. But it cannot be good without Galvanic and Windfall. If Hinata wasn't a thing, Windfall has the card that should have been banned instead of Divide and Epiphany. Oh, the Galvanic Epiphany lists couldn't exist without Windfall. That's for sure. Like, this list also wouldn't exist without Windfall. It specifically, Windfall and Galvanic Iteration are the unreplaceable pieces of it. I should sideboard. What are we playing against? Black-white stuff. Well, that means I board into Behold the Multiverses and cut Fading Hopes. And... oh, trim... Abrade and Alchemist's Gambit? I don't know, why not? I generally follow the rule of assuming that I should board into every copy of Behold the Multiverse against every black deck, because most of them seem to just automatically board into 4 copies of Go Blank, and just the easy way to fight that is to play more card advantage. Alright, well, this hand does stuff that's useful in things. Take care, Ravager. Thanks for stopping by. Dusk Wielder. Okay, we are going deep on the life drain. Or, I guess, maybe the gain life is the thing that matters here? I still haven't, like, seen enough of their list to have any clue what they're trying to style on us. Okay, so are we trying to get super aggro with Toshiro? Is that what's happening here? I think that's what's happening here. No, that was bad. We whiffed entirely. Oh no. Well, at least we still have a land drop to make. Voice of the Blessed would make sense here. Everything else seems to be some sort of lifelink stuff. Ugh. This is a lot of cards that aren't terribly helpful. I guess I'm gonna play Celestus and be disappointed by that. Henrika transforms, which means it no longer dies to Abrade, which is a problem. Invoke Despair. Okay, that's fair. I guess I should play more counter spells now. Still missing land drops, 4 copies of Galvanic Iteration. Not terribly great for me. Windfall's real tempting as a way to stabilize this, but I think my plan needs to be Hinata plus Opus next turn to have a chance. And we seem to be getting close to that. The hope is that we can stabilize. Flying Death Touch and or Lifelink. That's none of this. Down to 6. Not a good spot to be. Just gonna die to Invoke Despair? Probably. Yes. Alright, well. Missing land drops is bad. Lesson learned. I never would have suspected that, but here we are. Alright. I think I'm okay cutting Valorous Stance and a Behold the Multiverse now, and I'm willing to play 2 Disdainful Strokes, having seen a little more of their list. What card was that they played? Invoke Despair. Makes your opponent sacrifice a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker, and for each one that they can't sacrifice, they lose, I think it's like 2 life, and you draw a card. Something like that. Oh yeah, look at this hand. This hand's perfect. Oop. Look at all my card draw, isn't it neat? Is it worthwhile to witness the future for blue? No, I don't believe so. I'm very strongly of the opinion that this deck should only be playing cards that are good without Hinata. It's fine if they get benefit with Hinata, but with the exception of Magma Opus, I want every other card just be good on its own. And Witness the Future is not good on its own. Hey, Soul! Thanks for the cheer. I appreciate the support. Dual Core. Thanks for the follow. Oh, also, Jar Jar Prime. And Sandwich Ammo. And Hot Sizzle 450. And Kankzor, who apparently I all missed, because I'm bad at noticing things. Glad you're all enjoying the stream. I think 1 Windfall's probably enough here. 3 Hinata's a lot, though. Luckily, I don't think I need to worry about my opponent countering Windfall. Opponent has to choose the target for Toshiro before Okiba transforms. That's nice. Even though this is kind of good on its own just from the fact that it's in the Galvanic Windfall shell. Yeah, it's not as embarrassing as it is in a lot of other lists. That's for sure. Alright, let's get rid of Hinata. Because I have too many as it stands. Magma Opus seems like a pretty good draw in a Hinata shell, so I'm just gonna play it. Then we're gonna go to my opponent's upkeep. And we're gonna play this Magma Opus. Kill these 2. Tap down those other things. And generally make their life inconvenient. It's what I strive to do. I think the opponent's deck is... I'm not sure I understand the Toshiro Mizawas, but other than that, this just seems like a fairly decent black aggressive drain list. Okay, well, I have been 2-for-1'd, but it's a 2-for-1 that's in the good direction for me, so okay. I'm still not entirely... Whoa! Alright, that fell over. I'm still not entirely convinced that this is, like, actually a good card. And I've yet to see any use of it that is changing my mind on that. Let's play more Hinatas. This time with 2 Jwari Disruptions held up. I see. Okay, there we go. Alright, yeah, I love this card art. And, March of Otherworldly Light, I think... No, not that one. Farewell also has super good art that I want to mess around with it in Historic in like a Lotus Field deck, mostly just because I want to play the... sure. I'm actually playing basics. Admittedly, I'm only playing one more basic, but I am not one of those players who replaced every single basic in their deck with legendary lands, so I am not going to get punished by that. Yeah, alright. That goes pretty big, but you know what? This hand seems fun. I like this. So we're going to Galvanic Iteration. Then we're going to Magma Opus, kill these, and that, and you, and tap down those. And then we're going to kill more of those 2/2s and draw more cards. Okay, we're done. Yeah, that's fair. Is Farewell supposed to reference a story event? I don't think so. None of the art seems to. It's kind of just atmospheric. Is there any downside to running one copy of each legendary land over a basic land, assuming you have enough basics otherwise, like in a 2-color deck? No. At that point, there is no downside. But I mean, that's assuming you're running a 2-color deck with a lot of basics, which can be hard a lot of the time. I played a lot of 2-color decks that barely had enough basics. Depending on your mana constraints, it can be tricky. Not every 2-color deck is like that, but some are. Luminarch Aspirant, sure. Okay, well... Looks like the mono-white deck that has super questionable mana bases. I'm still uncertain of. Yeah, let's just shift the Expressive Iteration here. I don't think I'm casting it. Probably just Unexpected Windfalling. So this is basically, if I'm correctly identifying this, a list that is almost entirely mono-white creatures plus Helena and Elena. But just can accidentally draw too many Gruul lands and then can't do anything. Which seems to be the case that is occurring at the moment. So we're going to Unexpected Windfall, discarding a land, and then we're just going to start casting Magma Opuses, which is usually pretty good. So they can Snakeskin Veil us, which would be slightly inconvenient, but not the end of the world. I'm going to target the lands that don't make green, so that if they Snakeskin Veil, they have to tap one of the other lands to do so. Yep, that's exactly what happens. Oh, cool, Fading Hope for the Luminarch Aspirant. That's helpful. Opponent still can't play any other creatures. I'm willing to take a little extra damage because they don't have much in the way of burn. Oh, hey, cool, Hinata. We're going to play that so that our opponent's Snakeskin Veils cost more mana. Play Spikefield Hazard as a land. Fading Hope the Luminarch Aspirant while they're tapped out, so if they have the second Snakeskin Veil, I can Jwari Disruption it, which is what they have. So we're going to do that, and the opponent's going to concede. I'll take Expressive Iteration, why not? Still sticking it around, opponent? Alright. Kudos. I'm actually going to decline, because I know what my next card is. It doesn't matter if I draw it, and I don't want to discard any of these. I guess I shouldn't have attacked with the 4/4. They could hit a land drop and go Luminarch Aspirant into Hinata, or Helena. Yeah. That warrants having the 4/4 at home. Ooh. Luckily, it doesn't matter. Or rather, I should say, luckily, I have the capacity to not care. Yeah, we can do this on their upkeep, probably. So it's going to cost 5 mana, which means I could Expressive Iteration. Do I want to? Yeah, I think I want to make this land drop. Alright, we'll take Jwari Disruption, although that probably isn't super relevant. Alright, not attacking this time. Learned my lesson from my mistake. Would like to deal 4 damage there. Would like to tap these two again in case they are actually running a 3rd copy of Snakeskin Veil. Usually they only run 2. So I might get punished by this, but I don't think they run more than 2. Galvanic Iteration is cool. Kodama of the West Tree. Modified creatures you control have trample. Oh, neat. Okay. Where are we putting the counter? On Kodama? Okay, well then I would like to kill the Kodama. Cool. Do we want to swing the Luminarch Aspirin into any of my 4/4s? No? Oh, okay. Jwari Disruption seems cool eventually. Fading Hope seems cool now. Bounce the Luminarch Aspirant. Not really interested in a land. Go to combat. Swing with these two. Double Jwari Disruptions. Probably good enough. I actually have the mana to cast Expressive Iteration anyway, right? Take Negate, why not? Exile some lands, why not? Oh, I haven't made a land drop yet? Cool. Probably could have tapped better so that I could hold up Galvanic plus double Jwari Disruption off of an untapped land, but oh well. Tovolar? Oh no. What if you had to pay more for Tovolar, though? Okay. I guess we concede in response to that. Sure. This is not a perfect hand. In fact, it's basically only wrong. But I believe in top decks. Such as something that lets me hold up Spikefield Hazard on my opponent's likely whatever that 2-drop is that's a 1/1 that puts counters on things. Allenbach Escort would seem to imply to me that that is probably the kind of card this deck is playing, but they don't have it. Alright, I'm still actually going to hold up Spikefield Hazard for that regardless, though. Alright, let's represent Jwari Disruption, make our opponent a little less likely to play Adeline. Although this seems to be the Gruul modify, or the Naya modify list again. Hopefully being inconvenienced by their mana base. Am I representing a Jwari Disruption opponent? Is that scary? Alright. Wandering Emperor is also worse than it seems. These are great cards at the start of meta, can easily be played around when opponents are aware of them. Mono white matchups have become easier because of all the shenanigans and the lack of focus on aggression. Yeah, the Snakeskin Veil here hurts. Not a fan of that. That said, the existence of cards like the Emperor can also be beneficial once your opponents start playing around them more conscientiously. That's neat too. Alright, well, unfortunately I still lack for removal, and lacked for sorcery speeding Windfall because I forgot it was day/night. So that's bad and basically loses me this game. But I wasn't really capable of beating Halana and Elena here regardless, I don't think. I mean, maybe I could draw into something that would be useful. Nope. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So I'm taking 4... 7, 5... How much? Probably not lethal? Maybe lethal. Yeah? Not lethal. Cool. Alright, so we're gonna need to draw Magma Opus. Didn't draw Magma Opus, which is not helpful. And if my opponent has Snakeskin Veil, I can't do anything. I can play Hinata and then Spikefield Hazard Allenbach Escort, which turns it back to day, which denies my opponent the trample. That might have actually been enough if I didn't just give my opponent like an extra 4 damage for no reason. More than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, well, maybe actually exactly 4. Yeah, that might have been good enough. Alright, well, Galvanic, Windfall, discarding Needleverge. Go up to 5 mana, play Hinata, Abrade, Halana and Elena. No, I'm still 1 mana short. Oops. Yeah. Definitely a boo-boo. Oh, did they have the Lana trigger? No, they got 4 counters on the Stormcharge Slasher, so they did it right. Okay, Thundering Rebuke. Valorous Stance is actually kind of awkward against their deck. Because it doesn't hit Halana and Elena. I'm definitely willing to play Eggs. Definitely willing to play Liers. Not playing Alchemist's Gambit. Not playing Galvanic Iterations. Trim a Windfall. Oh, cut the Negates. Right. So then what else do I bring in? Probably Windfall? Probably Windfall. I don't think I'm supposed to bring in the other Valorous Stance here. I could keep 1 Galvanic in. I think that's what I did last time. Takes a play. Okay. I think I'm into this hand with the Magma Opus ×2. We don't want to miss a land drop, but if we do, then at least... I'm really tempted to cycle Magma Opus and go turn 3 Hinata, rather than playing the Smoldering Egg here. I think I'm supposed to do that, probably. I'm kind of just hoping the opponent doesn't have a removal spell for the Hinata, but there's not a ton of those anyway. Maybe I'm just supposed to play Egg and then... I mean, I don't have any turn 3 play is the problem with that. Spellbinder for Magma Opus. No, that makes it cost 4 mana, opponent. Oh, wait. I guess that's fine. On account of that being the amount of mana that I have. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. Snakeskin Veil's kind of annoying here, but they don't have it. Just because it would kill Hinata. Alright, drawing 2 lands, not the best, but we have like a board that's good, so that's nice. I think I'm not playing Windfall here because developing the Smoldering Egg is more important to me. Alright, I'll swing with Hinata. I don't think I'm worried about the Emperor in this spot. Snakeskin Veil would kill Hinata? Yeah, Snakeskin Veil would kill Hinata is why it would be annoying in that spot. It would make the Elite Spellbinder able to attack as a 4, and I'd probably want to block with Hinata, basically. Because I don't have any other way to deal with a flyer. Now, you know what? They're going to take the Windfall here, but if they take the Spikefield, it's just straight up better for me, because then I get to cast Spikefield for 3, which is like, you know, better. Because then I put more counters on Smoldering Egg. As it stands, they make my Windfall cost more, but that also just transforms the Smoldering Egg faster. So, like, that was cool. Oh, hey. Neat. Not quite. Oh, wait, this is lethal. Hold full control. I would like to give target creature indestructible. I would like to deal 2 damage to my opponent. I would like to Jwari Disruption my own Valorous Stance. I would like to deal 2 damage to my opponent. That was cute. I enjoyed that. Alright, now we have to do it on the draw, which is the tougher part. I am really, really happy with how Hinata super inconveniences the Snakeskin Veil strategy. That is actually just straight up really cool. Okay, Valorous Stance isn't excellent, but I don't think I get to mulligan Smoldering Egg on 2. Ooh, we drew Spikefield Hazard. That makes me happy. Chris, any chance of going back to Alchemy soon? We did try that earlier today, actually, and it kind of failed. I kept getting matched up against players in Bronze and Silver, which wasn't super interesting. So we kind of just scrapped all of that. Wow, my opponent isn't doing anything. Okay. Well, how do I feel about that? I don't have an answer if my opponent plays Halana and Elena next turn, is something that I'm kind of scared about. But I could just play more Smoldering Eggs. I'm going to attempt to not get sidetracked by playing more Smoldering Eggs. Cool. We do get to take the Abrade. That's exactly what we were hoping Expressive Iteration would find, so that we actually have an answer to a Halana and Elena. We also have a Spikefield Hazard in the short term, and we are continuing to make land drops. My opponent just hasn't drawn white mana. It's almost like a 3-color aggro deck has concerns about its reliability. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to resist the temptation to play Smoldering Egg number 2 here and just play Unexpected Windfall and turbocharge this Smoldering Egg instead, is what I'm supposed to do. But instead we're going to play more Smoldering Eggs because value is matchmaking broken. It's not necessarily broken so much as it just, the priorities become... The matchmaking priority that the algorithm uses becomes different if the population of the queue is lower. Alright, so we're going to Abrade this Halana and Elena. Our opponent's going to Snakeskin Veil to protect it, and then we're going to Valorous Stance it on our turn when they're tapped out. Because they oh so kindly turned it to 4 toughness. And then the opponent's probably going to concede. I should have Unexpected Windfall first. But, oh well. Yep, that went about as expected. They also haven't released the alchemy cards for this set. Isn't that part of the plan? Yes, although it'll be happening after the set championship, so it doesn't necessarily affect me directly. Alright. This hand has Hinata and Magma Opus, so I feel like I'm supposed to keep it. Alchemy's a bad idea? I don't know about that. I like alchemy a lot, but I like formats that change a lot, so like the concept that alchemy, not promises is the wrong word, but like the potential that alchemy represents to me is a format that is more interesting than standard because I like the idea of dramatic format shifts and card rebalances, but that is as a player who is already very invested and has a reason to be more interested in variety and dynamicness as opposed to just like stability. But I am more than aware that that is kind of a privileged position of somebody who has spent time, or who is invested enough in the game that I just have, you know, the ability to play whatever. So players with more limited collections do not have that luxury, I suppose. Is the most reasonable way I could phrase it. Am I just supposed to hold up Negate against them, or am I supposed to Expressive Iteration looking for more stuff to do? Holding up Negate doesn't have a ton of potential value, but like, might have some at all, and any at all is more interesting than Expressive Iteration on that turn. Gris said about Alchemy likely being less popular when a new set drops and more popular later once Standard gets stale is likely exactly what they hoped Alchemy could be. Yeah, that's also probably very true. It would not surprise me if that is like totally something that they are okay with. I do agree that I hope that they do not release the same number of rare cards. Ideally that takes the form of them including more mythics, but more so, it would be cool if it was commons and uncommons instead of the financial cost of literally a set release. Alchemy is fine. Alchemy adjusting cards in Historic, allowing reprinted cards I don't agree with. Historic will never become Pioneer or Modern if Alchemy exists unless there's Historic Alchemy queue. I guess I also am not a player who, like, is particularly attached to the idea of Pioneer or Modern. So, like, I know that's not the incentives everyone is working with, but I like smaller formats where games take longer and decks are weaker. I think that they produce more games that are, in my opinion, more interesting. So, like, I don't know. Nerfing cards to stop things from getting out of control, kind of... I don't have a problem with that. But, again, I can only reiterate that that is, like, one of the ways I have enjoyed playing Magic, and in much the same way that it would be very stupid of me to say Commander should be more like Standard, because that's just not what that format is. And it's not what the people playing those formats want. I wanted to stop that on their upkeep, but okay. Wandering Emperor. Oh, that's cute. So they just get to exile Hinata? Alright, sure. I think I'm okay with that. I don't actually need this Hinata at this point. But I regret not tapping down their lands. Is Pioneer stronger than Historic, though? Just seems like it would be nice to have a non-rotating paper format on Arena. I guess? I don't know. What's the draw of a non-rotating paper format on Arena? Why does that matter versus not being paper and being digital only? And I mean that as an honest, good faith question. A lot of people seem to care very deeply about Arena having a non-rotating paper format, and I don't know why that is something they care about, and I would like to know more. Because regardless of card availability, we do not want digital cards. Why not?
I am almost sad to see you go.
Oh, well, I kind of wish I had Hinata now that I drew 2 Magma Opuses. Oh well. Oh, I should have... Did I ping... No, I did all 4 damage to their creatures. Right. I had a reason to do that.
I'll be back.
I guess I'll take Valorous Stance over Unexpected Windfall. It does protect my 4/4, which is kind of cool. I've attempted to explain this the last 15 times you brought this up and ignored it. That's fair. It's hard for me to read things. Alright, Goldspan Dragon, probably Valorous Stance. Isn't wanting non-digital cards just like being a whiny brat? No. Not in the slightest. It is a matter of people having different desires and caring about different things, and I do not want to be the kind of person who dismisses desires I don't have as being silly or meaningless. I just have not yet been able to understand what the core of the desire is. Dun, 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 dun. We'll take Abrade. I don't have need for more Galvanic Iterations. Simply just Jwari Disruption as a land. I guess I'm just gonna keep taking 2 from this Reinforced Ronin because I'd rather deal 4 to my opponent. Nah, Kevlar Man's actually, like, totally right. They have explained it a couple of times, and the last couple of times they wrote it in chat, I was distracted trying to explain my viewpoint. This is just a fundamental flaw of streaming. It is very difficult to be an entertaining person who is not just sitting there silent for 30 seconds and actually read nuanced stuff at the same time. So, like, if I wind up not being capable of digesting a point in a couple of seconds, it just doesn't function. But I try to strike my balance, or I try to strike a balance in doing my best between the two, which ain't always perfect and ain't always as pretty as anybody would like it to be, but it sort of functions, and I like to think that I stay entertaining while that's happening. Imagine you're driving on a dark road. Okay, go on. I do love super elaborate, kind of convoluted, not terribly effective metaphors. That is my favorite way of communicating. I would like to destroy the Cavalier, please. Reinforced Ronin's getting in a lot of damage, though. Okay, you know what? Hinata is not an untapped land to cast Magma Opus, but it is kind of like 2 untapped lands to cast Magma Opus. And we have exactly enough lands untapped to deal 2 damage to the Reinforced Ronin that they're probably not going to play because they probably don't want to attack into a 4/4. Alright, well, yeah, it turns out casting Magma Opus is still pretty good. Fundamentally, being able to nerf cards after the fact encourages flashy card designs and decks that are bomb tribal. Okay. Well, I guess then that point I can only really disagree with because I don't disagree with the assumption that that design result is not ideal. I guess I'm very skeptical of the idea that the existence of digital-only card design leads to that happening. I'm not sure that I agree that that assumption is set in stone, or that connection is set in stone. Because, like, I actually would say that distinctly doesn't feel like it was the impression in the first set of alchemy cards that got released, at the very least, which is the only one that has happened thus far. So does not make Opus 3 cheaper. It makes Opus 6 cheaper, because it can target 4 different things for damage and 2 different permanents to tap. So it actually just straight up costs 2 mana if there's enough stuff on the board. But it's exactly what they did with the alchemy cards. Yeah, I don't think I can agree with that. I have not gotten the impression that any of the alchemy cards are super pushed. Like, the most pushed alchemy cards are probably Townraiser Tyrant and Rahilda, and I think that those are still kind of just fair, good aggro cards. Discover the Formula is a perfect example. But, like, hold on. You're talking to the person who thinks that Discover the Formula is like an okay, cool card that isn't actually great. Like, I love where the design of Discover the Formula is at. I kind of wish it was better so I could play it. What am I supposed to board into? My opponent's on aggro. 4 Smoldering Eggs, Thundering Rebukes, Liers, cut Negates, cut Gambits, cut Iterations, cut... ship it. Not talking about power level? Okay, so if you mean to say in terms of card design sense, that's more nebulous to narrow down than just power level. And I guess I've kind of hammered my drum on this, that I agree that I don't like the design that Key to the Archive uses, because I don't like specifically the way that Time Warp is so much better than every other card that it can hit, and that's like not my idea of a super good gameplay design. But otherwise, I can't say I have any problems with the fundamental gameplay patterns of anything besides that one aspect of Key to the Archive. My impression is that the people who really want MTG Online to be a paper simulation is that the paper MTG experience is what they like, and they're really just looking for a digital simulation, though. Not a similar game that has digital only effects. Some people. I don't want to go so far as to overly blanket characterize everyone who has concerns as having the same concerns, because I do think that tends to happen with talks about like the arena economy, is that a lot of different types of players have different pain points with the economy, and that painting with an overly broad brush is not terribly helpful or even counterproductive. So I do want to avoid that. Okay, well, still missing a white source, but that should be fine. I do think that there are a lot of people who dislike alchemy for that reason, yes, but yes. Alright, I guess we take Smoldering Egg here and then play a tap land, which is not where I want to be. I will say, perhaps I am more sympathetic than I should be to the plight of people working in marketing and corporations, but I have worked enough card game... So, I guess, starting from the beginning, I work at a local card game store, and the following opinions are entirely my own and do not represent the opinions of the company. But I have become accustomed to what it is like to watch players become disappointed by their own unreasonable expectations that were not logical, but that they had become accustomed to in some way or another. And I try to use that as a reason to remain cognizant of, perhaps I too as a customer am occasionally irrational. Not something I immediately want to assume of anybody else's desires, but perception is the only thing that matters at the end of the day. And it matters a lot more than reality. And that's important to remember. Has Alchemy actually affected Historic? Every time I play there, it's some crazy deck with mechanics that kill me by turn 4. The biggest complaint I can see in that regard is that Lier was a totally fair card in the context of Historic. I don't think I need to save this Smoldering Egg. Not when I have a duplicate anyway. And nerfing Lier killed some cool tier 2 decks in Historic that didn't need to get hurt at all. And it's kind of a bummer that they did. I don't really want my opponent to attack me with a Goldspan Dragon here, so I think I'm just going to bounce it. Chris, you were the only one playing Lier in Historic. There were at least some other people also playing questionable blue-black control decks in Historic. But that's not even a problem of me having issues with Historic having bans and nerfs. That's me having concerns about specifically the bans and nerfs, or the nerfs to Historic cards tied to needing nerfs in Alchemy. I don't even think Lier needed a nerf in Alchemy. I guess I'm just being completely silly here. They shouldn't have nerfed Lier anyway. That was totally uncalled for. They shouldn't have done that to my baby. That's the real talk. Didn't need to happen. Historic and Alchemy, they can have the same nerfs. I don't care. Just don't nerf Lier. That's too rude. The truth comes out. You want to attack with that Sunrise Cavalier, opponent? I'm willing to let you. No? Okay. Tap borrowed time, why not? If nothing else, I can appreciate that they're trying to cater to different audiences with different formats. Yeah. Yeah, I think that actually the last couple of years, the emergent success of Commander probably has had a big impact on that. Oh, I would love to take a Magma Opus, thank you. I think they have very much taken away the lesson that, although this is probably something they knew before, but it is a very clear lesson that Magic is multiple different games. It is not one game, and they are managing multiple different games at the same time. So it costs how much mana to Magma Opus something for 4? 5? So I cannot kill this Goldspan Dragon? I suppose I could Jwari Disruption it, though. Let's do that. I would like to... I guess I could just let Goldspan Dragon hit me and try to kill them, huh? Yeah, let's do that plan. I could Unexpected Windfall and then Jwari Disruption the Goldspan. Oh, and then I would still have lethal, because Magma Opus can do 4 damage to the face. Ah, I missed guaranteed lethal. Now my opponent has 2 extra mana to do whatever they want with. Oh no. I mean, I can still do that, and 2 mana is not enough for them to cast anything. So, like, I'm still fine. So we're just gonna pass and kill them, I guess. I just didn't need to make it this complicated. Okay. Damage. Damage. Submit. Tappity tappity. 3 damage to my opponent's face. We have Jwari Disruption up. Why did your opponent borrow time your egg when Hinata was the obvious threat here? I mean, I don't think they can beat egg flipping either, really. But both kind of suck for them. Both kind of suck. For them, specifically. Again, very clear. Not suck for me. Both extremely good for me. I don't know how the audio sync handles it, but you can probably hear that it's when he hits the side of the chair that the sound happens. Did you see the challenge deck? It's like 90% blue-red. What have you done? Why? Oh, it's not my fault people listen to me. That's entirely their fault. I like how Hinata discounts Time Warp if you get it from Key to the Archive. Oh, maybe I should give Key to the Archive a chance. It doesn't really... Oh, we're getting the rematch. Okay. It's Arena. People would have found this. Oh, I don't doubt that. I'm just saying, like, you might have hope for at least this weekend that people don't play this list. Maybe. Yeah, seems like a bad hand. Especially against the deck we know we're playing against. Nah, I don't mind having a Abrade. I do hate having the Fading Hope, though. It's fine. Why does Time Warp targeting in? In case you want to give your opponent an extra turn. You know, if you're that kind of polite individual. Alright, well, if we keep drawing lands, that's good. Yeah, I do like just drawing more lands. I wonder how many counterspells my opponent's playing in their main deck. I actually do assume that it's probably some. Alright. I love just drawing more lands. It continues to be good. Alright, Unexpected Windfall. But I gotta find an opportunity for my opponent to tap out for me to do that. And now we're potentially missing land drops, which is concerning. Opponent, if you just want to, like, play some random 5-drop, please. No? Okay. Land drop? No! We lost. How disappointing. Alright. We're back in it. Ah, why is the opponent so good at playing control mirrors? This isn't fair. Alright, well, we gotta get rid of Fading Hope. Opponent knows rule 1 inside and out. Don't miss land drops. Don't be the first person to do something. No. Why do I suck at control mirrors? Ugh. It might be that they aren't actually playing counter spells in the main deck. Maybe. I don't know. Jeez. Oh, opponent's deck is so good. Well, now we have a problem. Now we have a significant problem. Because I just discarded all my Fading Hopes. Alright, opponent. No counterspells main deck. Not allowed. No counterspells main deck. Okay, well, 4/5s, who cares? I can handle 4/5s. What are they gonna do? Kill me to death? I only need like 2 turns or something. Mining the old gods on my treasures. Wait, opponent, that's so mean though. Okay. What if I float that mana and then cast an Unexpected Windfall, discarding an Abrade? Ooh, and an Unexpected Windfall again. That'd be fun. Wait, oh no! I can't Unexpected Windfall because all of my cards are good! My biggest weakness. Alex MTG 40K. Thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. I don't want to discard any cards. That'd be bad if I did that. But I gotta find Galvanic, though. I hate this. I hate this. This feels bad. Why couldn't I discard the Abrade? Nope. No thwapping microphone, kitty. Hey, we found Galvanic. It was all worth it. Every last bit. All worth it. And yet somehow we're still missing this land drop. Alright, well, let's play Galvanic and hope the opponent doesn't have Test of Talents. And let's play Galvanic and hope the opponent doesn't have Test of Talents. Cat, you gotta not thwap that microphone. I know that I need to order a boom. I will try to remember. Okay, and then we take 3 extra turns, and we hold up a Negate. Oh, hey, cool, I don't think they have counter spells in the main. Well, I guess we're gonna win then. That works too. I could Expressive Iteration to try to hit a land drop. I probably don't want to Expressive Iteration to try to hit a land drop when it costs 2 lands to do that. Alright, we're gonna play Hinata. Does that resolve opponent? Cool, good talk. I'm gonna play a Magma Opus. Target, 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 target. Yes. Target blue mana, target blue mana. Cast for 2 mana. I'm not particularly of the opinion that most of any of my opponent's choices matter here, but maybe they can kill Hinata and all 2 Magma Opus tokens, and then maybe I'm in trouble. Soul Shatter's annoying, that's true. What if in response I was to cast all of these, and then get rid of those blue manas? No, auto tapper! Why are we holding up Negate? I'm gonna have to sack a treasure. That sucks. It's fine, I'm gonna play Expressive Iteration probably after this anyway. Do, 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 do. Oh, hey, cool, another Hinata. I mean, I'd probably still rather negate that Soul Shatter so I have more damage in play. Also makes my opponent's spells cost more. That's cool, too. Infernal Grasp. Oh, no. It's probably not worth negating. I mean, I don't really know how the opponent gets out of this either way, but, like... Anyway, I'm going to take an extra turn now. And we're going to go deal 4 damage to their face. And I'm going to play a Hinata. And I'm going to play a Magma Opus. I'm going to deal 4 damage to their face and tap down the rest of their permanents, just because, you know, I can. That's allowed. Oh, we didn't hit another Magma Opus for lethal? Oh, I already discarded the 4th one, that's why. Right, okay. Didn't even get to win with an extra turn still remaining? Feels kind of sloppy. Ooh. Well, let's bring in some Behold the Multiverses, and some Negates, and some Disdainful Strokes, and a bunch of Smoldering Eggs, and maybe a Valorous Stance, and no Fading Hopes. Interestingly, the way the last game played out did actually make me sort of interested in Abrade, weirdly, because it actually answers the ramp creature on turn 2 that otherwise was a pretty big problem. Let's see. Got Hinatas, trim Magma Opuses, cut Abrades. What else did we cut? Actually, what else did I cut? Did I go down to 2 Magma Opuses last time? Since Mono Green did okay against Is It Turns, I suspect I should be able to beat up Hinata until it adds a bit more aggro hate. Yeah, I think the version that I'm playing isn't too terrible, but it's really important to remember that Mono Green beat up on turns because turns didn't have a way to get advantage through the mid-game. It had to have its removal buy it time for it to combo off. And Hinata gets to play a 4-mana 4/4, and then Magma Opus is also a 4/4, regardless of whether you use Snakeskin Veil or not. That's actually a lot harder for Mono Green to interact with than the previous Jeskai list. Or the previous Is It list. We cut 3 Opus last time? Is that right? No, we were playing 3 Opus last time? What else did I cut? Weird. I'm going to trim the Valorous Stance and get disappointed when I get blown out by Hullbreaker Horror. That's just what we're going to do. Egg. Did we only play 3 egg? Maybe that's the case? We did end up cutting Valor? Okay. Ooh, he's good. Celestus. I don't think that I want to cut Celestus against this deck. I mean, like, they do play Binding the Old Gods, so maybe that's a reason to cut it. I was supposed to lead on Stormcarved Coast, but thankfully it didn't matter. Oh, it actually wouldn't have mattered, because I'm probably better off for telling Behold the Multiverse here than playing this Smoldering Egg anyway. Never mind. Let's see. What am I afraid of the opponent playing on 4? I'm afraid of the opponent playing... Binding the Old Gods on my Smoldering Egg would suck, so I can't really play Smoldering Egg here. Maybe I should have trimmed Smoldering Egg after we saw 0 copies of Malevolent Hermit from the opponent last match. Sorin the Mirthless. That seems like a good opportunity to Jwari Disruption something. Okay, now I can Smoldering Egg. I'm kind of tempted to Galvanic Behold, if I'm being entirely honest. But I gotta get my hand size lower before I can do that. It's unfortunate that I'm opening myself up to get Test of Talents on my Galvanic by doing that, but... Oh, opponent! You're playing into it! I appreciate it. I'm assuming that just means they don't have other options in hand. which is very often just the reality. You play the hand you're dealt, not the hand you wish you had. Anyway, I'm going to draw 4 cards because that feels good. Celestus, probably not right now. I want more counterspellery. Disdainful Stroke is good. Expressive Iteration, probably also good. Alright, we'll play the land drop here and pass. An opponent gets to resolve a big Planeswalker at long last. Can they do enough with that when I have a Smoldering Egg? Yeah, Duress gets to take stuff. This is true. Disdainful Stroke is gone. This is true. What's the remainder of the plan, opponent? Binding of the Old Gods to kill Smoldering Egg is probably the best thing they can do. Soul Shatter's not as good for them. Alright, I will Expressive Iteration. Alchemist Gambit's not bad. Not exciting, though. Probably correct, regardless. Huh. So I don't really have a counterspell here that does anything meaningful. The opponent couldn't just slam a Planeswalker because of the threat of Egg last turn, but it also might be because they just didn't have a Planeswalker. I think I'm supposed to resolve Behold the Multiverse here. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Well, no. I think I'm supposed to resolve Behold the Multiverse. Ooh, those cards seem good. Alright, we'll take it. Even if my opponent plays a Planeswalker in that spot, I don't think it's the end of the world for me. I can still recover from that by just having better card advantage. Or, well, having more cards in hand. But if they don't have a threat and we go back to playing Draw Go, I like that. So they're going to return 2 cards to their hand. Duress and Soul Shatter. I don't care about the Soul Shatter, and the Duress is fine. I guess I'd probably negate the Duress. Otherwise it takes my negate anyway. And I'd rather deny them knowing that I have Jwari Disruption in hand. Okay. Valorous Stance, not super helpful, but does deal with a Hullbreaker Horror if they wind up jamming one here. They don't. Good to see. 2 land drops away from kicking Galvanic Iteration, Alchemist Gambit. All the Storm Giants, not super useful against Soul Shatter. Although I guess if I put a 4/4 into play with Magma Opus, then Soul Shatter can't kill all the Storm Giants? Do you want to give me an opening for any reason, opponent? Would you be so kind? No? Alright, well, I'm just going to keep top decking card advantage then. Oh, look at the card advantage. You love to see it. Alright, Unexpected Windfall and Unexpected Windfall. We're going to cast an Unexpected Windfall, discarding the Spikefield Hazard that I'm not very excited about. Probably get a counter spell out of the opponent's hand. We don't. Bummer. Maybe that means they don't have one. I could hope. Alright, play Celestus. Still no counterspell out of the opponent's hand. Ah well. No Shigeki returning 5 cards. That's cool. Opponent missing land drops. Also cool. We get to loot away. I don't actually want to discard any cards, though. I kind of still need to hold on to this Valorous Stance. I guess Jwari Disruption is the weakest card here. And we just top deck a land anyway. That's cool. Okay. I think we're still on plan draw more cards. Because why would I do something if I could draw cards instead? Put a Magma Opus in hand, because that's kind of useful. Play an Unexpected Windfall. What are we discarding here? Probably the Deserted Beach. And then hope we draw more lands anyway. We drew more lands anyway. Perfect. We can foretell Behold the Multiverse so that we can get around the hand size limits and draw more cards with no downsides. Superb. Theoretically, I should be pressuring my opponent because Shigeki returning stuff is kind of annoying. Like, technically... Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. They probably actually should have returned Shigeki, not the Ren in 7. But, okay. Still, Sky Turtle is cute. I love that. Why pressure when you can draw cards, though? That's what I'm wondering. Oh, because they had Shigeki? Wait, then why did you... I don't understand. Why not just pay more for the Shigeki? Because you wanted to return the Colossal Sky Turtle? Oh, no, wait. Wait, yeah. I still don't actually understand that, but okay. Sure. Would like a negate. No, but second Alchemist Gambit is pretty good too. Alright, we'll get rid of Valorous Stance. Non-legendary. Oh, I see. Ren can't be retrieved by Shigeki. Gotcha. Okay, I follow. You're right. You're right. I imagine they kind of have to take Disdainful Stroke here, right? I mean, to be honest, I've got a Galvanic in the graveyard. I'm not sure what they can do. I have, like, infinity more mana than them. Yeah, so I guess I'm just going to Behold the Multiverse then. I could Behold Multiverse more. I don't really need this land. How many cards do I got left in the deck? 21? Okay. Alright, let's Unexpected Windfall. Discard a land. Make more mana. Want to make sure I have enough mana next turn, you know, to do all the things that we need to do. We do another Galvanic. Perfect. Okay. How many extra turns can we take? First up, we'll cast a Galvanic. If our opponent Test of Talents that, we cast the other Galvanic in response. Then we cast the other Galvanic in response, which is why it was important to play the one from the graveyard first. And then the Test of Talents on Galvanic resolves. And then we probably win. I would like to take a couple of extra turns. Now they do have Soul Shatter for Hall of Storm Giants, but they're going to need something else to deal with Magma Opus. Alright, Test of Talents actually answers Magma Opus. They're 1 mana short though. Yeah, testing the Alchemist's Gambit doesn't accomplish anything if you can't answer the Hall of Storm Giants. Oh, well, actually... I suppose I'm only taking 2 extra turns here then. Which means that's not guaranteed lethal if they can counter Magma Opus. So Behold the Multiverse. Smoldering Egg helps. Alright, so we play Smoldering Egg. I think I fire up Hall and attack here. Yes. That is correct. Fire up Hall. Attack with Hall. If they countered Magma Opus this turn, it'd be a little awkward to have lethal in 2 turns, but I think this is guaranteed. I could Expressive Iteration here. I guess it doesn't hurt. I could try to find a Negate. I don't really need to, though. Oh, no. I'm super supposed to play Expressive Iteration after flipping the egg. I think I have enough mana to do that. And I think this way is guaranteed lethal. Okay. I'm actually having trouble clicking their land because the interactive element up here is covering it up with the hitbox. That's kind of not stellar. Does that... No. Okay, I was gonna say. Oh, Infernal Grasp losing them 2 life isn't makes it not lethal. Or makes it into lethal. That's kind of amusing. But successfully got there. Oh, that was game 2? Oh, we won game 1. Huh. Okay. Works for me. Oh no! Aggro! Well, now for a real test. Oddly, I've actually found Negate to be kind of useful against this list. Oh, they didn't get the benefit of the +1/+1 counter. I love to see it. Alright, so Kimono transforms and hurts my face. Hopefully they play a Chandra so that I can negate it. Do you not like legendary lands? Seems like a few can work here. There's a big cost to including the legendary lands. Like, their benefit is kind of marginal, and they take a different land out of the deck. And so I have to ask the question of, what land then do I take out of the deck? I don't want to take out basics because my opponent's Boseijus and Field of Ruins punish me if I don't have basics. I don't want to take out dual lands because, you know, they're dual lands. So I'm left not really having a clear spot that I can include them in. Having more lands in this deck is a good thing. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess the closest replacement slot for the legendary lands is Jwari Disruption and Spikefield Hazard, and I just don't think the legendary lands are better than those. Like, if I had room to play more utility lands, I would probably be playing Spikefield Hazard and not any of the legendary lands. Play with fire. Why did I not abrade the etching? I got distracted. That was bad. I took 2 extra damage against burn that I didn't need to. That's probably not great. Maybe it won't matter. Who knows? Maybe I bluffed the opponent out of playing Chandra. We can pretend. Oh, hey, cool. Magma Opus. That's probably a useful card. Anyway, all your opponent's burn spells cost more now. A deck that has to play 2 spells to kill Hinata, where both of those spells get taxed by 1, is probably not terribly excited that Hinata is like a massively taxing... It's like Thalia on steroids. Because now it's Thalia with 4 toughness. Yeah, I love it. What are we gonna do about it? What you thinking? We're thinking nothing? Okay. I got bad news for you, opponent. And it's called Magma Opus. I don't really want to Expressive Iteration here. I don't really want to Expressive Iteration next turn either. And it'll probably be fine. Alright, no swinging with Hinata. My opponent could theoretically be playing stuff with haste. Thalia without the first strike, but with flying and trample. And has had several counters added. Yeah, I mean, the first strike was never the part of Thalia that I cared about particularly much. Speaking as a non-aggressive player. Who I suppose never has played Thalia. Royal Eruption. Okay. Not the fun way to kill Hinata. Spikefield Hazard? Play with fire. Oh, opponent, I'm sorry. That's not what you're excited to see, is it? Can I do this for 5? Yes. So I actually just get to straight up deal 4 damage to their face, right? Correct. More Magma Opuses. Not directly super helpful. I can probably afford to start actually attacking at this point. Oh. Red source? No! Alright. We'll take the Magma Opus. I'll probably end up cycling it to make a treasure, I imagine. You just rubbing up against that paper bag, kitty? Cutie. Oh, hey, we won. Gosh, Hinata's good against this deck. Played against that card yesterday in Limited and couldn't figure out why it was so expensive to play my Spinning Kick as X was 3. Yeah, the extra beyond just one more? That's where it starts getting nuts, huh? Okay, no Alchemist Gambit, no Galvanic Iteration. Probably no Negate, probably no Valorous Stance. Maybe no Fading Hope even? Definitely want 4 Smoldering Eggs. Definitely want Thundering Rebukes. Probably want Lier. I can actually probably get behind more Negates, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's fine. Why are you matchupping against a Platinum player? I don't know. Matchmaker's weird. Is this functional? Well, why not? It's a pile of 1-for-1s. That's probably good against burn, I think. Kumano? He's good. I barely got that in time. Bloodthirsty Adversary with a counter. Oh, opponent, that's actually, like, disgusting, though. How come you're on the play? That's so good. It's very tempting to play the Smoldering Egg here, but I think I'm supposed to default to removal first. Such value, opponent, such value. Alright, no playing Chandra, please. I would like to kill that adversary. Don't think I'm in danger of getting hit by pump spells. Please don't play Chandra. Please don't play Chandra. That would make me very sad. Alright. Well, that's not ideal.
Extra crispy.
This card is good. And that hurts me.
Give a toast.
Card advantage, ramp and burn is all very good. Oh, Hinata's fun. Alright. I wasn't going to play the Smoldering Egg, but I think Hinata actually changes that equation a little bit. Because if my opponent wants to combo removal spells to kill Smoldering Egg, then that actually makes my Hinata more protected. So I think I kind of want to incentivize them to do that. The alternative was just abrading the etchings, which is mostly useful,
This is a warning shot.
but could be better. This block, I'm uncertain on, because blocking allows them to use 1 removal spell to kill the egg. The thing is, I'm not sure how useful the egg actually is if it's not actively preventing the damage. It's going to be a long time before I transform it. And if they choose not to kill the egg, then it was, like, super correct to block. But this isn't forcing them to use 2 removal spells on the egg, it's only requiring them to use 1. But, well, maybe the opportunity cost to them is high enough that that's just something they're not interested in. I could hope. If they don't kill the egg, I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to Expressive Iteration. If they do Roiling Eruption, it's actually an expensive spell, it's not a 1-drop. You'll love to see it, and we drew a Magma Opus. Oh, my life is great. I love Magic so much. If they have 2 burn spells and you don't block, you're almost dead anyway. Yeah, I mean, also very true. So they hit the land drop, which means if they have 2 burn spells in hand, they can go at Hinata.
Let's bring
Oh, but they
things
don't.
up to a simmer.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not actually willing to block etchings here, opponent. You caught me. The Hinata actually kind of needs to stay alive. Ignis Inspiration. Well, golly, that's good. What do they actually learn in Mono Red? Which is a statement that didn't exactly come out like I meant it to. Oh, Introduction to Annihilation, the 6-mana removal spell for Hinata. I see. Gotcha. Alright, well, I'm gonna kill this Chandra and the Etchings and then tap down 2 of their lands on their upkeep. Yes, unfortunately, opponent, I do always have it. Boop, boop. Gosh, this just works out super well, doesn't it? And we drew a Negate? Wait, did I not play this Jwari Disruption as a land? Kind of forgot I was allowed to do that, huh? You know what? Might actually be totally okay.
Wow.
I'm going to pretend that wasn't just an oversight, because I'm going to pretend that keeping that in hand to counter my opponent's stuff was intentional, and the plan all along. Anyway. I could Expressive Iteration this turn, but I don't think I'm supposed to. I think I'm just supposed to, like, zap the Visionary, play a land, go to combat. I do actually have to race the Den, that's kind of annoying. Now that I think about it, I probably should have played the Expressive Iteration here. So I have to not swing with the 4/4. I mean, we do have a bunch of counter spells, and that's sort of meaningful. Yeah, we're definitely negating the Royal Eruption. More Hinatas. I could attack with both these creatures and then bring Hinata back. Oh, okay. Or they can concede. That makes my life easier. I think that's actually what I was supposed to do. Swing with both, and then play Hinata number 2, holding up Jwari Disruption, so that I'm threatening lethal next turn and have a blocker for the Den. Yeah. Haven't seen you play against aggro white yet. I haven't seen a lot of aggro white. Well, we've seen a lot of aggro Naya white, not a lot of aggro mono white. Yeah, alright. I mean, 2 Abrades and an Expressive Iteration and 2 lands is probably a keep. I think. Ban Hinata? No. Hinata didn't do anything wrong. We can ban Fading Hope. How about that? Does that seem fair? I hate being on the draw. It makes me not get to play Expressive Iteration. Maybe I was supposed to Abrade the Eye Twitch. That's not exciting, but maybe? Just so that I could play Expressive Iteration? Alright, I'm happy to negate a wedding announcement. It's going to be an annoying amount of damage otherwise. Cast Expressive Iteration, hit an untapped blue source, perfect, a Celestus, why not? Never didn't have a single thing go my way. One keeps attacking. It'd be a little annoying if they played an Edgar here. Nope, just a wedding announcement. I can handle that. Compromise Ban Opus? No. If not Fading Hope, then how about, like... Actually, playing Celestus is probably worse than just Unexpected Windfall discarding Celestus, unfortunately. How about we ban... How about Jwari Disruption? That might actually be, like, kind of fair. Ban magic. But I like spells. Just unban Omnath. I don't know if Omnath would actually be good right now. There's not a lot of support. But maybe I'm underrating the way you could bust that card. It never seemed busted to me at the beginning either. Or the end. I'm still not sure why it's banned. Or ever was banned. But I'm sure they probably had a reason for that. Anyway, not sure what's going on my opponent's side of the board. I've kind of tuned out, but I'm going to, like, take a couple of extra turns, and that's probably going to be good. This is really familiar. I feel like I've been here before. Just gonna draw a lot of cards and take a lot of extra turns. I love how much effort we have to go through to set up what is essentially a growth spiral. And I mean that completely unironically. I absolutely adore this. I love everything about this. Galvanic Iteration is really fun. Gonna make 6 mana and draw 6 cards. This is completely balanced. Play my land draw for the turn? I have. Bummer. Alright, I would like to discard less to hand size, please. Would I like to throw... Well, I'll throw away a treasure to scry one. Why not? I think I have enough mana. Not really, but like... I can make do. Ooh, Hinata. That's a fun card. Yeah, alright. No discarding to hand size. Perfect. So we're going to play all the Storm Giants. We're going to play Hinata to make our opponent's spells more expensive. And we're probably going to pass the turn. I only have one more Galvanic left, so I have to be kind of careful about playing this Alchemist Gambit. Blood on the snow. Oh no. Opponent, I would like you to pay 1 more mana. Drat. Alright, wait, 1 more mana. Okay. Wonderful. Is this the part where you concede, opponent? Anyway. We're going to cycle away this deserted beach. Oh, yep. Yes, it is. Good times, good times. Alright. Board into Behold the Multiverses. And what else? Negates, I guess? Disdainful Strokes, maybe? This match is always so hard to sideboard for because all of my cards are so good and the matchup is so favorable that it's difficult to tell which cards are better than which other cards. Alright, what have we got? We have the Fading Hopes and the Abrades and the Valorous Stance. Doesn't leave me with a lot of answers to creatures, I suppose. Do I need the Disdainful Strokes? I don't really need them. Yeah, but I do like them. Do you not run your own test of talents for the mirror? I am still operating under the assumption that the actual Galvanic Iteration version of this deck is not popular enough for me to respect the mirror, but I expect that probably changes by next week. In fact, it might even change within the next couple of days, but it's the assumption I'm rolling with for the time being. Switching out like a Disdainful Stroke for a Test of Talents if mid-range decks became less common and this mirror became more common would probably be correct. Can someone explain how the double Jwari worked? I always thought that if you paid the mana cost, it would resolve. No. So, Magic... if you played Magic very far in the past, that would be how it worked, because of something that used to be called batch resolution in terms of how it handled the stack. Or if you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!, that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works. But, did they take Jwari Disruption? They must have an on-curve 3 or 4 drop they want to resolve. But no, you don't, once the stack starts resolving, you resolve it one piece at a time, not the entire stack. So basically, Jwari Disruption resolves, and then I cast the other Jwari Disruption. And I get priority after the resolution of the Jwari Disruption in order to do that. Okay, they do know about this one. I want to play the stuff they know about. Would you run 1 or 2 Test of Talents in the sideboard? Kind of depends on what the mirror ends up looking like. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can kind of switch up the sideboard plans on the fly to play around different things. I think I'm going to hold on to playing white mana as long as possible. Expressive Iteration is cool. So for the time being, I would probably play 2 Test Talents. That they can get tricky by dodging that with, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, Goldspan Dragon post board, which is where Goldspan Dragon is typically strong in those kind of mirrors, is that it allows you to pivot into a different game plan in the post board. But I would probably go to 2 Test of Talents if I thought Galvanic Iteration heavy mirrors were going to be the default going forward. Edgar. Alright, I think Edgar is... They should have played that pre-combat to deal an additional 2 points of damage, or 1 point of damage. I think Edgar is enough pressure that I can't wait around to get more value out of this Behold the Multiverse. I kind of just have to do it now for tempo reasons. Alright, 1 Expressive Iteration is fine. Hinata's fine. That blocks the flyers pretty well. Expressive Iteration. I will take up Behold the Multiverse. Play land, play Hinata, hold up Jwari Disruption. Get to loot. That's cool. Alright, Unexpected Windfall's cool. Discard the card they know about, deny them more information. If they don't have a land drop to play Blood on the Snow, then I can Jwari Disruption it. Opponent draws a card, gets to attack with Edgar. Auger Mauling. Wow, I'm very sorry, opponent. That was exactly not the correct sequencing for that. Oh, also a benefit to running basics. If I was running legendary lands instead, the Auger Mauling would have cost 1 less. Wow. Alright. Not the benefit I expected to pick up from including those, but eat your heart out, legendary lands. Alright, I think we just pass here. We get to loot again, which is cool. We're representing Hall of Storm Giants to block Edgar, although I think they still attack into that anyway. Mirror Shell Crab is good too. It can force an opponent to miss a draw. What does Mirror Shell Crab do that makes the opponent miss a draw? Oh, you can counter an ability with it? Yeah, that's kind of neat, but 3 mana is a lot, and there are a lot of times where just negating something on curve is an important bit of tempo. I'm trying to debate if I want more mana, or if I just want to dig deeper with more cards. I probably just want to dig deeper for more cards. I have enough mana, I need to get card selection here. More Auger Mauling's kind of annoying. Magma Opus, that's a good start. Now how about a Galvanic? Hinata's nice. Don't want Celestus. I probably do want Spikefield Hazard. Let's see, 4 mana for Hinata, 1 mana to Spikefield Hazard, then 4 mana for Magma Opus lets me do 3 damage to Edgar and 1 damage to Shambling Ghast, I guess? Probably better off doing 1 damage to face than the Shambling Ghast, though. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. Alright, we play Hinata. We stop on the opponent's upkeep. Oh, wait, no. Should I do this now to loot and gain a life? The gaining a life off the Celestus is actually kind of a big deal. I don't get to tap down their lands, though. They've got a Hive. I kind of have to tap down the Hive. Taking that hit here is not good for me. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I can do that in an order. Right, because the Edgar isn't actually going to die. Yes. No. I can't kill the Welcoming Vampire with this and then let them attack the Edgar into the 4/4 because then the Edgar comes back. Which is less than ideal. Alright, Edgar problem solved. I could just spike the Eye Twitch to loop, but then I don't have the spike for the Edgar. There's a reason Spikefield first had this sack spell. That's a good point. That is actually just strictly better to Spikefield her first. Correct. Alright, the Welcoming Vampire Wedding Announcement combo is inconvenient. The Bankbuster I could probably care less about. Alright, Windfall, 28 cards left. So let's Windfall, discarding Hinata probably. There's our Gambit and our Negates. Good to see. Oh, I'd already made my land drop? Huh, okay, well, whoops. Didn't need to do that at sorcery speed. Could have just let it flip tonight. Okay, well in that case, we're just going to pass. Opponent can continue drawing cards if they want. We're going to set up Galvanic plus Gambit and then probably lethal off that. We certainly have enough negates that we're not worried about getting hit by hand hate. Opponent gets more 1/1s, draws a card. Sure. We're gonna Unexpected Windfall, discarding a land. Probably end up drawing a land anyway. No, we failed. Oh, but we get to loot. Loot didn't hit a land. No. All right, well, discard card advantage. Why not? Still not hitting a land. Wow. All right. Okay. Probably doesn't matter. But it makes me sad. I would like to take 2 extra turns, please. Still got Negate up. Opponent draws a card. Sure. Still have Negate up. And also Negate up. We go to combat. I am willing to attack. Opponent doesn't have enough blockers to kill Hinata in the air. Also, Hinata has Trample, which continues to be adorable. Willing to sack the Welcoming Vampire. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm willing to kill the Welcoming Vampire. Trample over Eye Twitch. Presumably the opponent wants to learn, which could dig them 1 card deeper for a removal spell for Hinata. Which is still unlikely to matter on account of me having 2 negates. I can probably Expressive Iteration here. Kind of get one of these treasure back if we hit a land. Oh, also we could do a Magma Opus, in addition to a land. That's fun. Anyway, then we're going to take another turn. I think I'm actually straight up out of Galvanics at this point. No, I do still have 1 left. Oh, when I said that previously, we still had 1 in the graveyard. Got it. Okay, well in that case, we can probably get rid of this here land. And we're going to play Magma Opus. Distribute damage, 3 to my opponent's face, why not? And then we're going to play another Magma Opus, and then we're going to see if we've drawn Galvanic, and if we have, then we'll Galvanic Alchemist Gambit. I don't want my opponent drawing cards. I don't have a particular reason to, I feel vindictive. That's my mood. We will take the play. I'm willing to keep this. got stuff to do on 2 and then an Expressive Iteration. Hard to throw that away. So Strict Proctor does not affect Sagas at all. They simply come down with a lore counter on them and go straight to the first episode? Yes. Strict Proctor I do not believe has any impact whatsoever on Sagas. Aside from other stuff that would trigger when enchantments enter the battlefield. That still gets hated on like normal. Yeah. Well, that's not a good Expressive Iteration. But at least we got all those missed land drops out of the way, I suppose. Bankbuster that didn't get to negate. It makes me sad. But opponent also missing land drops. Alright. Well, if opponent is missing land drops, I am interested in blowing up their Bankbuster. But we are 2 Ps and a land drop missing pod at the moment. More Bankbusters. Okay. I didn't even get to negate that. How disappointing. No, opponent. Don't have a land drop. Alright, well, I can't not play the Celestus, but that's a little disappointing. My opponent gets to draw a card off this Bankbuster and everything. Oh, okay. Siphon Insight. That must have been the top deck, otherwise they would have played it over the Bankbuster. Jeez. Still missing land drops. But only 1 mana for our opponent available, which means it's pretty hard for them to kill Hinata here. As tempting as it is to jam Hinata, I'm probably just supposed to Windfall to try to make the land drop in addition to making the man. Jeez! I mean, I'm still winning, but jeez! We're not making it easy on me, huh? Alright. Yeah. Lands are just banned for this game of Magic. Nobody's allowed to have them. It would seem. Really? Okay, that's a land. You love to see it. I'm probably supposed to get rid of Fading Hope because everything else is actually useful. Hey, lands! Alright. Happy time. I'd like to play my Hinata. You've only got 1 mana, opponent, so I don't assume you can do much about that. What do they have with 1 mana, though? What are they... Does crew give priority when you can't pay the cost for crew? Huh. Did I put the other Alchemist Gambit on the bottom of my deck? Do I have any way to shuffle my deck? I don't believe I do. So I'm just never going to get back to that Gambit? My opponent could shuffle my deck for me. Alright. We're going to ship the Gambit. I feel bad about it. Yeah, I don't want my opponent to draw more cards off that Bankbuster. But I also wanted to get the cost discount after playing the Hinata. Alright, well, nothing for the opponent to do, it would seem. Does this target? Siphon Insight targets, it gets taxed by Hinata. You love to see it. Good times, good times. Ooh, Galvanic Iteration. Well, now I'm sad that I threw away my Alchemist Gambit, I guess. Alright, we can probably get rid of Valorous Stance in the interest of making a land drop. No, we made the land drop anyway. Okay, well, I needed something to discard Unexpected Windfall, so I suppose Spikefield Hazard still fills that role. What are we doing to Hinata when I try to attack, opponent? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Nothing? Literally nothing? Okay. Hey, opponent made a land drop. Good for them. And then foretold a card. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and draw... Yeah, I can only do this once. Bummer. we just see the Galvanic and we know the writing's on the wall, huh? I feel you, opponent. That was not a pleasant game for either of us. But it stopped being unpleasant for me a little faster. Unfortunately, I saw none of my opponent's deck. Oh, they discarded Vanishing Verse. So they're actually playing Esper. That's pretty informative, actually. Wow, they're playing Esper with Reckoner Bankbuster. What on earth do they have that can crew that? Because this is still not Maze Mind Tome. It's not a good card if you can't crew it. So I kind of assumed they were blue-black aggro, but Vanishing Verse and Siphon Insight do not indicate that. Alright, so I want like 3 Smoldering Eggs. I want to cut a bunch of Hinatas. I don't want Fading Hopes. I probably don't want much in the way of Abrades. I can trim Magma Opus. I want Behold the Multiverse. I want Negate and Disdainful Strokes. Life is hard if I'm not cutting Abrades, though. I'm assuming my opponent's playing Hullbreaker Horror, so I'm just going to cut Valorous Stance. You know what? I'm not going to even keep in Abrades. I respect Reckoner Bankbuster so little I will have no removal for it whatsoever. It can crew itself with a token after you activate it 3 times, but that still means that it was entirely useless against aggro, and just like a dead card draw. I'm not sure that that's like an exciting spot to be. Probably just totally cut Hinata. I mean, admittedly, I don't know that Esper has a ton of removal spells for it, but why would I play creatures if I don't have to? I mean, I'm playing a Smoldering Egg, but I gotta play Smoldering Egg against Malevolent Hermit. Open deck lists would make this easier, but I gotta do it. The counter from Kumano/Tenacious Pup happens as the creature enters, which is strictly better than it triggering when it comes into play. Oh, hey, cool, we won. 4 ranks. Radical. Would I consider Inscription of Insight in this deck? No, and the general reason for that, and the kind of philosophy I've had about building this deck in general, is that I do not want to play cards that aren't good without Hinata in play. And Inscription of Abundance kind of fills that. It's the same reason that I don't want to play the Boros Command. Those cards are too expensive and don't do enough without Hinata in play, and I don't need my deck to be better with Hinata in play, because it's just already excellent if Hinata's in play, right? So my opponent could play Chariot next turn if I play Celestus, which would be pretty annoying. Unfortunately, if they don't play Chariot and just play the aggro hasty 4/4 Moose thing, then I kind of just lose the game. Alright, opponent. I'm going to just make the assumption that I can beat Chariot. We'll see if I'm right. Is Prismatic Command not good enough? No. This deck doesn't really have anything it wants to ramp into on 5, and the rest of the effects are just kind of slower than, say, Abrade, which are more useful against the aggro decks. Ew. Still missing the land drop, huh? Alright, probably best to Unexpected Windfall, discarding Celestus. Try to make the land drop that way, get the treasure if I fail. Alright, well, we can play the Jwari Disruption. So we're setting up for a Hinata. That should be pretty strong. Kitty cat wants out. What just got played on me? Dormant Grove. Okay. Well, am I okay with that? I'm not really okay with that making Ascendant Pack Leader into a 4/4 next turn. I don't want to use all my treasures here. I guess I could... I guess I'm supposed to negate it? I really don't know about that. This doesn't feel right. Oh, I can't Valorous Stance next turn if I use the treasures. That probably makes this wrong. We're not really actually that far behind. But we are now that I can't play this Valorous Stance, because I messed up. Yeah, so I was supposed to let that resolve, so that I could play the Hinata and still have the Valorous Stance up. For sure, for sure, for sure. How are we going to recover from that error? I guess probably... I could play the Hinata. No, I can't, because without Valorous Stance up, I'm just going to get blown out by the fight spell. So I think we're playing Windfall, discarding Hinata. Okay, there we go. That's the ticket. Bounce the Old Growth Troll, have Magma Opus plus Hinata, don't need more Hinatas. Good work, deck. We're still missing land drops, which feels weird, but we've stabilized. That was not a particularly scary turn from the opponent. I would like to draw an untapped land here. No, just another Magma Opus. Dang. That's kind of awkward, to be totally honest. Fight spell here? No, okay. Kind of unsure whether I would rather fight spell, or whether I would rather give Hinata Indestructible, or remove the Old Growth Troll with Valorous Stance. I would probably rather start with damage, which maybe I should have done this in their upkeep then. That might have been better. Now they can float. Yeah, I was debating if I wanted to do something else with the Magma Opus than this particular distribution of damage, but I don't think there was actually a scenario where I wanted to. So now they can float the mana and hold up... whatchamacallit? Snakeskin Veil? That I didn't need to let them do? What does Nada do? Mostly cast Magma Opus for 2, but also make all of their spells cost a lot more. Like, this Blizzard Brawl costs them 2 mana, and their Snakeskin Veil is going to cost them 2 mana. Also, it's a 4/4 that blocks and flies. Oh, you're right, the Blizzard Brawl did cost... Did we stop 1 damage to Old Growth Troll opponent? Okay, well that's going to be very disappointing. I'm going to blow up that Old Growth Troll now. I'm not sure why we did that, but yeah. Fight, in particular, actually targets twice, so Hinata makes it cost 3 mana. Absolutely delightful. Okay, 2, 3, 1. No, bummer. Alright. Well, combat and swing. We're going to stop on the opponent's upkeep. Ooh, I get to loot? That's fun. Alright. What would I like to get rid of here? Probably an Expressive Iteration. I don't think I need those. Anyway, so we're going to Galvanic Iteration. Well, no, I didn't mean to unclick the stop. I wanted to cast Magma Opus. Oops. Alright, well, so much for tapping down 4 of my opponent's lands. It'll be fine. Probably. I just need to make sure not to cast something else before Magma Opus. That's less than fine. I mean, it's not fine, it's just sad. And it's night. Oh. Alright, well, unfortunately for the opponent, we're still just going to kill him, regardless. I kind of want my opponent to attack with that Ascendant Pack Leader because it makes my life a little easier. Cool. Alright, how are we doing this? Magma Opus. Doo-doot. 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 Damage to everything. Tap down those 2 blockers. Damage to this stuff. Tap down these 2 blockers. Alright. I'm going to do 2 damage to the opponent. Put 8 power on the board. Tap down 4 of my opponent's creatures. Fun use of 4 mana. Oh, also I drew 4 cards. That happened too. Alright, well. That's one way to get lethal. Yeah, if Magma Opus has 4 targets, its cost gets reduced by 4, but at maximum you can target 6 things with it, so its cost goes down to just blue-red. It's really quite silly. I love it. Alright, Negate's out, Thundering Rebuke in, Lier's in, Valorous Stance in. What else are we doing here? I'm not actually convinced Alchemist Gambit is good against mono green. I could cut that. So it reduces the cost even before you're actually casting the spell? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how else it could work. I guess if it, like, just refunded the mana after you spent it, then it would probably be a lot less busted, but that's hard to do within the rules of Magic. What am I supposed to cut here? Kinda feel like it's Gambit. This is not the kind of hand I want to see against mono green. It's the kind of hand I'd be excited to see in a mirror match. It goes against every rule of Magic I have to mulligan this hand, but I don't know that I can afford to have no interaction at all on the draw. It is better. Alright. Not having any red mana is a deep concern, but what you gonna do? Alright, deck. Let's draw a red source. Turn 1, draw a red source. Let me play Abrade on 2. No, Expressive Iteration is not a red source. Ranger class. That's so abradable. No, deck. The Abrades. They're not the correct card. Alright. Well, so a 2/2 begins getting larger. Could be worse. Alright, we're going to Magma Opus and then we're going to top deck a red source. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So not needing to actually use that treasure is nice. Then we get to play Hinata. Werewolf Pack Leader. Okay. Unfortunately, the opponent is representing having Snakeskin Veil, which is not my favorite. I might not be able to beat this. Life would have been easier if I could have abraded that 2/2 before it got bigger, but that's not where we're at. Oh wait, I can just play Hinata and that makes Snakeskin Veil cost more. God, I forgot Hinata is just so good. Alright, let's kill that pack leader then. Still don't have an answer to this wolf, but maybe we can find one. Yeah, fight spell for Hinata. Not a good start. It is very expensive. Taken 6. Not quite dead next turn, but close to it. Celestus is not useful. Alright, not much I can do besides just hope. Oh, they don't have Snakeskin Veil. Wow, they actually don't. Okay, well, that's why sometimes you hope. Sometimes it pans out. Alright, well, I need to hit the other Valorous Stance now. Unexpected Windfall, discarding Celestus. Galvanic Iteration is not helpful. Cast Expressive Iteration. Find the other... Nope, found Thundering Rebuke, which is not good enough in this spot. Well, on the play, mulligan into a hand that doesn't find the right mana. Not terribly surprising, but I am actually a little impressed by how close to not terribly that win. Couldn't I Galvanic into Abrade? Wait, I didn't have enough mana, right? I only had 2? I thought I only had 2 mana. Oh, instead of the Expressive Iteration? Did I have both of those already? Oh, yeah, that would have just been a better choice. Yeah, very true. Sometimes we miss things. Okay, this is a pretty good hand, though. The Fading Hope here would have been nice last turn, or last game, rather. I do think I just Fading Hope the Werewolf Pack Leader. Expressive Iteration, okay. I don't think that I want to hold up Valorous Stance here, so this works. Well, alright. I guess that's a useful Expressive Iteration. We certainly dug through a pile of lands we're happy to have gotten rid of. The main problem here is if the opponent... Okay. Alright, well, I was gonna say, if they miss the land drop, I can play the Hinata because they can't kill Hinata without hitting another land. But I don't want to take that risk. But I didn't have anything else to do. But Unexpected Windfall is much, much better than playing Hinata. This is a historic day. Chat pointed out a Chris mistake and chat wasn't wrong. I feel like chat catches a lot of my mistakes for me. Probably not all of them, but a lot of them. I appreciate it. Alright. Let's see. Do I need more blue mana? No, but I do probably want a third red mana. Also, my opponent is missing land drops, so I guess that's helpful too. Cool. Hinata into Jwari Disruption when they try to protect their Werewolf Pack Leader. Okay. Well, you did protect it from an Abrade opponent. Oh, they were going to discard a hand size? Yeah, that's what it was. Alright, well, unfortunately for you, opponent, it does mean that you cannot use it on my turn in response to this Thundering Rebuke. I'm sorry. Also, we found a Magma Opus, so that's cool. All Growth Troll, I don't particularly want my opponent to have in play, so we're just going to counter that for 1 mana, because that's fun. More Valorous Stances, why not? Make some land drops, go to combat, swing with attackers. Basically, I'm an aggro deck. You know what, opponent? You can have that. I'm generous. I'd like to deal 5 damage to my opponent and tap down their Dormant Grove and their land. Don't even have to spend a treasure. Love to see it. Go to my turn. I'm pretty sure I can animate all the Storm Giants. Yeah, so let's, I guess, just kill them. I'm an aggro deck. What do you know?